In the El Chapo trial, the prosecution has returned to having former cartel witnesses take the stand. Tirso Martinez was the head of El Chapo's train route from Mexico to New Jersey, where his team would unpack kilos of cocaine and then deliver them to New York City. Martinez said that they used cooking oil as a front to smuggle the drugs. He guessed that the cartel made up to $800 million from the cocaine brought in on that train. Martinez said El Chapo wanted him dead because he abandoned the train route and the cartel due to pressure from raids. So joining us now is Paul Batista. Paul, I'll just bring this up to speed. So we're learning about this train now. Of all places, it goes from Mexico to Jersey, of all places. What more did we find out about it from his testimony?
Well, we found out that it was transported in containers of cooking oil and managed somehow to get from the Mexican border to the New York metropolitan area, where it was unloaded as cocaine
Right.
in McDonald's and Burger King parking lots, which, I don't mean to be facetious, lends a whole new meaning to the term fast foods.
It certainly does.
I feel like I saw that in Breaking Bad, right? There was a whole thread throughout the entire series of money being laundered by a fast food king.
Oh, well,
Right?
Exactly right. It was just a convenient place to do it.
Doesn't it make you wonder how they could do that, though? Because being somebody who rides the rails all the time, I know that the train tracks are owned by companies. It's not a free-for-all. If you have a train, you can't just get on the tracks and go where you want to go.
You know, cooking oil and grease, meaning money, will get you all kinds of places.
Clever.
So we've heard a lot from law enforcement. Do you think that their testimony is having any kind of an impact on the jury?
No, I don't, Vlad, because what we're hearing, and I'm not an El Chapo advocate, please don't misunderstand me, but I am a trial lawyer. And to have DEA agents describe how cocaine is imported into the United States is like having the Coast Guard tell us that there are beaches. We know that happens. So far, I still see nothing that directly links El Chapo to instructions as to how to do things, instructions as to when to kill, instructions as to how to operate the train. The submersible submarine of last week that the DEA agents talked about, it's right out of Jules Verne, Captain Nemo and the Nautilus. It's a great trial. But so far, I don't find very much in the DEA.
Because here's the thing. I mean, they did, they talked to the members of the Coast Guard member, and that was like one person. And then now they've gone right back to members of the cartel. Everyone's hands are dirty, so we come back to this problem of, well, everyone's a little bit guilty here, so why put it all on El Chapo?
Yeah, it's the country. Let's be honest. The country has been inundated by these illegal drugs from Mexico for decades. There really is nothing unique, frankly, about the way El Chapo's contraband was brought into the United States. We know these things. The trial is about what El Chapo did, and so far, and I've been following it carefully, other than being a guy who liked a lot of bling and a lot of money, and a wife who was 30 years younger than himself, so far we really know nothing about him.
Can we speak about that wife? That she did an interview?
She did.
Did she reveal anything interesting?
Absolutely not. What she revealed to me was she did an interview on Univision, I believe, Telemundo. And I listened to it in Spanish, and she said very little about her husband except that she loves him and can't believe that anything that he did was ever wrong.
She said she never witnessed any illegal activity, right?
Right. Exactly right. And just legally, the problem is she can't possibly testify at the trial because of spousal privilege, and she'd be torn to pieces on cross-examination. So I think she's establishing a post-El Chapo career.
All right, that's right. You got a plan for the future.
Exactly right.
Paul Batista, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Brian.